Deary, deary me. I let him... It's just like, what would I be without you, Dylan? I would just be a man with a great knowledge of killing. With no target.
Change your Twitter bio.
I will.
A man with a great knowledge of killing. Also, Twitch manager at Explosion.
Twitch content manager?
Twitch content. Fuck, I say my name wrong half the time. What do I fucking know?
But get my name right at least. Fuck,
Sorry.
I was saying your name right when I was talking crap about you to devs.
Sorry.
Okay.
Close enough. Let's do this shit.
Wow, that's a tremendous looking trailer.
Welcome to Platinum Explosion, the #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanas, episode 32.
32? Are you sure it's 32? It's not like...
I think it's 32. Let's be honest, I haven't double checked that.
You haven't double checked that?
No, I'm just going, well, if it's not 32, fuck it.
You sure?
It's probably not 32. It's
probably
like
not 32. It's
probably like
32 at
20
all.
something.
It's probably
You know what 32 is?
What?
Probably pleasure.
32
Quite possibly.
32 is probably pleasure. Probably
Let me check.
Pleasure. We're going to check live.
We're not restarting the thing.
We're not restarting the thing.
This is part of the show now. Do you want to guess? You should have guessed before you...
So pleasure is up to 37.
Oh, I was close. Guess what? 32
What?
was last week's.
Oh.
Welcome to episode 32. We've actually recorded in our old-fashioned, not in the same room way.
Exactly. Look at that. Who'd have thunk it?
There you go. So I was kind of right.
You're kind of right.
Episode 33.
Episode 33. Not
Ciaran.
32?
No, it's 32. 32 was our episode we recorded in the same room. We're now back in each other's webcams across different ends of the peninsula. I don't know.
Indeed. Me and my echoey cavern. You...
Of Shepperton.
Echoey
We're no longer
cavern of
live from Shepperton.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you're not. You know how nice it's been to be alone? It's been nice.
Fuck. That's terrible. That's absolutely disgusting.
Not being, What
we
are
are
you doing?
we are just doing a two-man podcast. You're lucky, audience is listening. You're lucky getting any fucking podcast at all, to be honest. Because I'm pretty tired. I'm sure Kieran's still pretty tired.
Yep.
We've had a very busy couple of weeks. I got back to Launceston not long ago. So, I mean, hours ago, but I haven't been home long enough to even fully pack away everything. And I'm here recording the fucking podcast.
The fucking podcast just for you. Just for
Putting
you.
in the work.
Putting in the work.
I want to talk about, before we get into some main topics and stuff like that I've got for you this week, I want to talk a little bit about Extra Life, because that was a thing that we just did, and it was really interesting. So we raised nearly 1,200, I don't know, 1,120, 50, something. Money. We raised above our $1,000 target for Extra Life, which is a charity streaming event for the sick kids.
For the sick kids, because we hate those sick kids.
We hate those sick kids.
We
reached our target, and it was really cool. And you can, I don't know, I watched the whole 24-hour stream VOD. I don't know. But I mainly just want to talk about what your I want to get Kieran's impressions of, because we do Twitch stuff. I've streamed. You stream a lot.
Yeah.
It's usually for...
Like 4 or 5 hours tops.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours tops.
Not 24.
Yeah, and, technical difficulties happen when you stream even for a couple hours. You're probably not switching consoles on the go.
Nope.
You're probably not doing those other millions of things.
No.
So general impressions or surprises or anything like that for streaming 24 hours. Tips and tricks or anything. What do you reckon?
I'm super surprised with how well it went technically.
Didn't crash once somehow.
It didn't, the whole, I was waiting for us to have the VOD, and the VOD would be like 5 different sections of X amount of hours each, because it's dropped out at some point. But no, we have a 24 and a half
One video.
Fucking video. Just 24 hours. If you want to sit there for a whole day with us in the background, play that on Twitch. It works.
It's possible.
I think our problem solving as a group were really good. We did all the technical setup and everything pretty well. Minor a few of my stresses, but that I got over that. That was fine. But other than that, it was really good. It was really fun. I think the biggest surprise for me was how well we it was going until we went, wait, we're only 8 hours in. We've still got another 16 hours left. Crap.
Yeah, that was like the marathon. It's like when you do a running marathon, people will tell you don't run really fast for like the first couple hours, end up in first place, and then get a couple hours in and be like, fuck, I have X amount of kilometers to go and I'm already feeling kind of fucked, or like running out of steam or stuff like that. We kind of did the equivalent of that for a gaming marathon, I guess, which was come out a million miles an hour, and then, before we even got halfway, it was kind of like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, oh, fuck, we've still got half. Like, I think with it, I think we could have moved a couple of things, the schedule thing, because I think the start of it, as our schedule was, there was a lot of it that we were all required for, or as many of us as possible were required for early. And so there wasn't any times or breaks where people could just relax, because if you weren't on camera, we were all like super hyped and rushing to make challenge videos. So there was no, it was frantic but good.
Frantic but good.
Frantic but great.
I think if my number one piece of advice and thing I'd want to change next time would be a less rigid schedule.
Yeah, definitely.
More time to just be able to just talk shit on camera, because by the time we reached $1 million butt and the podcast at
Six? It was 6 till 9.
Whatever. We had a couple hours of just shit talking there. I'm like, could have used more of this. Like, could have used more just shit talking, all of us on camera stuff. And we could have, But whereas we set up our schedule like hour by hour, game. And I kind of realized this more. I was watching Kind of Funny's stream last night, and it was like they had so much just shit talking on stream for like 15, 20 minutes between games, and just being like, oh, fuck it. Like, whatever, it's fine. All these things are happening. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. With that said, because we had such a rigid structure and schedule and stuff like that, watching Kind of Funny stream, I'm like, our set isn't as good, but technically and everything, I think our stream was better than Kind of Funny's.
Okay.
Because they spent half an hour fucking around with a VR headset and couldn't get it to work on Stream. And I mean, restarting PS4s, like trying to sync the thing, couldn't get it work for half an hour. And it's just people watching the stream for half an hour watching someone try and set up a VR headset, and like they didn't cut away to. I was sitting there watching it the whole time, like, if this was me, cut to a video, like we had all those options of like, anytime where we had to switch consoles or stuff like that, because we was switching cables and stuff, but no one ever noticed because it was always covered by a video. And I'm like, you know what? I think our stream ran a lot better than Kind of Funny's.
Damn straight.
Not as flashy. They had like some really cool graphics, and they had a really cool set, made and all sorts of shit like that. But I'm like, technically, I think it was better.
It was, if it's Kind of Funny if you're listening. Dylan, Blight, and Ciaran Marchant, we'll
fly over.
We'll fly
to
over.
America.
We know what we're doing. We'll teach Kevin.
We'll teach you. Yeah, teach like Kevin Coelho.
Also, to point out on this PlayStation podcast, Xbox, savior of our stream.
It actually was, yeah. Thank you for I don't know if we want to give her our big tip. It's very obvious, and I don't think enough people do it.
Imagine doing that if we had a VR unit as well. Imagine that. Just
yeah.
But yeah,
when we get a Patreon, I'll be like, Patreon goal. Me and Ciaran do a how we solved our extra life stream problems.
People will pay for that,
and they'll be like, "Fuck, that's so obvious."
Thanks. Shout out to the Xbox.
All right, shout out to the Xbox. That's enough Xbox talk. All right, so Extra Life was really good. It's great. And just shout out to everyone on the clap to everyone on the Explosion Network. We all did really good. That's a lot of money to raise for a good charity and stuff like that. Pat, your times you're allowed to pat yourself on the back, and that was definitely one of them.
And thank you if you were listening or watching, or
Yeah,
you donated, or you spent 20 minutes, an hour, 24 hours with us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Having people there chilling and hanging out with us was the biggest support and the biggest drive for us. So thank you very much.
You can have a little clap from me too.
Pat yourself on the back.
Pat yourself on the back, but pat me as well.
Just Dylan, not me though.
No, I'll take all the pats. It's fine.
He'll take all the pats.
I love fucking pats. Oh my fucking god! All right. First, quick thing I wanted to go over because we haven't gone over it. I think these were out last week, but we didn't really talk about them, or they came out just after. Was the PS Plus games were announced, and they're pretty shit. So I just wanted to quickly do that. So you got Worms Battlegrounds. Okay, cool.
Worms is
Bound. Great. Worms is great, but it's like these are both like tier 2 games to me. It's like mediocre. Worms Battlegrounds and Bound. They're your two big games. Bound I own. I haven't played. I brought it because you can play it in VR, and I'm like, might be cool. It's like a ballet dancer side scroller thing or something like that, I think. But they're both like meh. Well, I mean, I'm sure they're good games, but it's like there's no big like. Well, that's cool. The best thing on PS Plus this month is probably the VR bonus game, which is Rush of Blood, which you own but you have to own a PSVR obviously, and or have not played Rush of Blood, or care about playing scary games. And if you don't like horror games, you're like fucked. And I'm not talking about PS3 games anymore. I made this decision. We're not fucking talking about the PS3 Plus games. They can get fucked. Don't care. Dungeons Punks? What was that? I wrote it down. I don't even know. Dungeon something is a Vita plus PS4 game. Never heard of it, but I looked it up. It's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up RPG. Might be cool. And then the other Vita game was Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse, episode 1+2.
What a great game! I don't know, I haven't played this far in the Broken Sword series.
I played episode 1. It's alright. It's an old school point and click.
Damn straight, download it. Do what you gotta do.
If you like that. So my pick of the month of PS Plus games this month, Rush of Blood, I guess.
Rush of Blood. Do you reckon they're having an off month to hype up what December's going to be?
Maybe.
Have a big December?
Maybe. No, they didn't. From memory, last year I remember being like, Christmas time, December, really cool games, and then it was like, meh. So I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. What would you pick? What would you be?
Probably Broken Sword or Worms, just because I have nostalgia for both games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I haven't played that Worms Battlegrounds though. How do we know it's actually a good Worms game?
I don't know.
Worms game.
Is there a concrete donkey? Is there a holy hand grenade?
I have no idea. I
These
guess
are
we
the
can
things
download it and find out. It's free.
Definitely.
There you go. All right. Big couple weeks of gaming has happened recently, Ciaran. I don't know if you know this.
I didn't. I had to put
We've
up
had
with you and Ashley.
so many games come out.
Is there?
So many fucking... There's games flying left, right, and center. You've got everything from like Wolfenstein, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty. There's even stuff like Stifled out I've been really looking forward to playing. And all these other cool games. You got that damn Mouse Raccoon one that's come out. People might not care about or care about. I don't know. I can't even remember the name of that. Bugsy.
Oh, that's right.
That's a game.
Bugsy.
That's out too now. Everyone get hyped. Mario, if you've got a Switch. But all these huge games.
That's all you played, though.
That's all I've played. No, I haven't played fuck all of any of these games. You've played Call of Duty, though.
I have.
That's it.
Did it
for our gaming podcast. To be fair, we have been very busy.
I wasn't going to be like tell you guys to F off like while you were here, because we'd all want to play it and none of us would want to. Like, even we were a bit worried about Wolfenstein on stream on Saturday night. We were like, don't want any spoilers, don't want any... So yeah, it was one of those things. We did it for the kids. We gave up some of the big experiences for the kids.
For the kids. And other than that, audience, I'm sorry we haven't had time to play fuck all of these big games. You've played a couple hours of COD though, so you can talk about that. What's it like? Because this is the first COD that I've looked twice at since.
Have you? Question. What was?
Blops.
Do you ever remember what was the first of these games that you played? Like, not just Call of Duty. Every franchise that kind of covers this thing. Do you remember what the first one you probably would have played is?
Probably Medal of Honor or something.
Would it have been Medal of Honor Frontline?
I reckon.
So, first mission of this is pretty much the first mission from Medal of Honor Frontline. And I was really enjoying it because of it. Because I loved Frontline. Medal of Honor Frontline was probably one of my favourite games of the PlayStation 2. And it came up really early in its life cycle. So, yeah, it starts off the stereotypical way of, Normandy on D-Day, storming the beaches, emptying the bunkers, going through that way. I really enjoyed it. It was, some people are like, oh, can they're just going to do the same things over and over again. But I think we've had a long enough gap since a World War II shooter has been announced that it is completely different. Not completely different, but it feels fresh and it's nostalgic. Probably one of my biggest points for the campaign. It doesn't flow over to the multiplayer, but in the campaign you have a health bar.
What?
You have a health bar in the campaign, and you
what, like a proper 100-point?
Not,
health
it's
bar?
not 100, but it's like a green bar across the bottom of your screen, and it'll go
Do you have
red.
to pick up fucking health packs from enemies?
You do. You pick up health packs from enemies, then you have to hit right on the D-pad to heal yourself up.
Interesting.
Which is, I thought was really weird when I first started playing it, because I'm like, God, you haven't done this since like Modern Warfare 1. Like, this is crazy. So, yeah, you have the health packs now, which is really cool. Still in multiplayer, you still have, it's still the same. You find cover and you regenerate health slowly.
Well, imagine health packs in multiplayer.
Yeah, health packs in
These
multiplayer
days,
would be weird.
It'd be like, it'll change the whole scheme. All the Call of Duty Pro players and the esports scene would just spit it, I think, if they did that.
Yeah, and so I played through the first couple of hours of the campaign. Once again, in good old like military shooter fashion, you're the guy that for some reason has to do everything. For some reason, you're trained in just everything. We need somebody to blow up this gap in the beachhead. You go over there and do it. We need somebody to man this artillery gun. You go over there to do it. We need somebody to drag this this half-dying person through the rough. You go and do it. It's like, I'm not trained for this crap. I'm probably just an infantry. So it's good. The campaign does the typical like war story kind of thing where it builds a couple like characters that you're supposed to care about. I can't remember the guy's name. I probably should have looked this up before we started. But some of the bigger names of like actors in this game is David Tennant for Doctor Who's in this game. Yeah. There is the soldier guy from like all of the Transformers films. I can't remember.
He was from a TV show, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. So he's in it. And so they try and make you care. And there's a couple of actors, you know their faces. I just don't know their names or anything. So
who's the main character? Is the main character like an unknown person? Because they got like Troy Baker or whatever last time, and
I don't know. It's not somebody who I recognize instantly. Joshua Dunham?
Yep.
Josh Dunham? Yeah, Josh Dunham is in the game. So he plays one of the higher ranked people. So, no Kevin Spacey. Probably a good thing.
Unsurprising.
That's, probably a good thing.
He probably will never be in a COD game again.
No, probably not. But yeah, it's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to playing more because I really enjoyed the older time periods war games, especially like World at War, all of the early Call of Duties, Medal of Honor Frontline. It's going to be nice to see one of these things in game. Multiplayer, they've changed it a fair, like not the actual gameplay. Where multiplayer still feels like Call of Duty multiplayer, but when you first click into multiplayer, you actually have to choose which division you want to be in. So you have to choose from like infantry, airborne, sniper rifle kind of mounties, heavy armored, and I can't remember what the last one's called. But each of them gives you different perks, and it's supposed to be designed for a different skill level of player. So like infantry is supposed to be for new players, and then it kind of scales up with advice on what kind of player should be playing each role. So you have to join up with one of those, and then you I don't know if you've seen the screenshots because somebody mentioned it to us.
This is the open world.
Yeah, there's like a base. Thing. There's like a base you can walk around. That's like the multiplayer hub. So you can go test different weapons in the shooting range. You can go test kill streaks and find out how to do the kill streaks because I don't know if you played much COD multiplayer ever, but that was one of the most annoying things in the world is that you knew the first time you used the kill streak you were going to waste it probably because you didn't know how it worked or you didn't know what to do. So there's a training section for that. There's pick up different missions for kill this many people with this gun or kill this or do this, and there's different stuff to earn ranks. And then the loot boxes. You you unlock them through gameplay. I haven't seen where you could buy them, so microtransactions aren't obvious, but I presume you can buy them.
I was about to say, let's presume they're there.
I presume they're there, but I can't find them. I couldn't find them in the half an hour I was walking around the base earlier. And so yeah, you get like a smoke grenade, and you have to like throw it randomly somewhere in like the Normandy beach base, and then it'll just randomly drop a supply crate in the middle of the base for you to open. Which is it's an interesting little touch. I've seen people say it's a bit disrespectful, but I don't see too much problem with it. Which is a bit interesting. And then the maps, I've only played a couple of the maps so far, but the maps do seem varied. I still have that, you feel like you're completely lost in a map until you've played it 4 or 5 times. So, but I'm playing as a sniper. I'm having fun. It's good. I don't really have any problems. It's Call of Duty, but for me, it felt like really jarring almost because for the past, except for maybe Battlefield 1, all the other games we've played, probably in recent history, have been like space shooters. Like, you have the jetpacks and your character's really fast and you're running up walls and you're jumping really high, using different superpowers. This one's really kind of like drawn back. So the movement of this game's getting me having to get used to it again, just running and crouching and going prone and stuff, not running up walls or jumping really high or anything like that. So it is an adjustment, but I'm really enjoying it, actually. I'm really having fun with it. Even though it's still just Call of Duty.
Yeah. I was about to say that one of the things people complained about, but one of the things I liked, of course, was the going back to the old setting. But people are like, oh, it's just rehashing and all that sort of stuff. But in my mind, like, if you do the beach, if the first mission is the beach and stuff, and people are going to complain about that because it's like, it's been done 1,000,000 times. I'm excited because it's like, it's been done before, but now it's in ultra pretty.
Yeah, it's super
stuff,
realistic. So. Like, there was gore in like the other games, but this one's like super ultra realistic gore where you can actually see like people missing legs and the different parts of that leg missing and stuff like that. And this is the first current gen World War II game. Like we've had Battlefield, so this is the current World War II current gen game. Like the last one I can remember. Yeah, it was probably World at War on the Xbox like 360 and PS3, so I haven't really... And that feels like it was an age ago, so... it does feel refreshing. I don't understand why. I guess personally, World War II gives me a lot of nostalgia and stuff because it's my dad's favourite topic of history, so he knows a lot about it, so I always remember playing these games, and when he'd walk past my room, or if he'd come and watch me play for a little while, he'll comment and stuff, like... The first time I used the M1 Garand, which is probably like the basic weapon for the campaign. I don't know if you ever noticed this. When you reload, it makes like this really loud ting noise and it flies off.
I was about to say that's a main
rifle.
Like rifle.
Yeah, it's a rifle.
Yeah, I was like, I know that name. I'm like, I think it's a rifle.
Yeah, it's an M1 Garand. It's in all of these World War I games. Yeah. It was the most popular rifle for the American forces. But bit of history was that, and a bit of like this is like the useless facts I always thought made me think instantly. Is
it useless?
It's probably not useless. It's probably really interesting to some people, like myself. But like I just instantly made me remember my dad always telling me, oh, the American soldiers hated that noise because the moment you heard it, the enemy knew that you were reloading your gun, and they couldn't stop it. Like as soon as the clip was out, it would just eject the clip. So that's really interesting, and just it. Going off back on tangent of it, even though it is back in, we've seen these games before, I think it's really good for our history as humanity to go back every now and then and play these games and experience this stuff again.
Is it like a series? Like, is the campaign like really? It's not like silly. It's not like
no, it's not silly. It's super serious. It's like the one thing I'm interested to see in the story campaign is. I don't want it to be just another Band of Brothers story. Like it's a lot like Band of Brothers starting off. So I don't want it to be exactly the same as that. I do want it to deviate or do what it can, but it is very much in the vein of Band of Brothers.
Did you play Battlefield 1?
Yes, I did play Battlefield 1.
Do you think, like when you compare the two campaigns, do you think doing World War 1 or World War 2 stuff or anything war related? And you're like, people are going to be like, well, they're all war, they're all... It's like, well, I don't count like the future games as war ones.
But I think
like
even though these are fictitious games, you're still learning about our
Yeah.
civilization's history when you're playing them. I remember Battlefield 1, I felt incredibly... the campaign in areas was a bit disjointed with jumping between characters.
Well, I was going to say, was my question was going to be, do you think it's more Battlefield 1's, like, switching between the vignettes are more interesting
There was
because you get multiple sides?
There was one story. Did you play the vignettes at all in Battlefield 1?
No, I haven't played
No,
Battlefield 1.
I don't want to ruin one, just in case you go through.
I want to play it, so
I don't want to ruin it too much because one of the vignettes in that game is one of my favorite storylines in the last couple years. Just because it had a moment when it ended, and I was like, "Holy fuck, holy shit! Did that really just happen? Like that's so fucking cool! Like it was almost like movie level writing for that little vignette that I was really.
Was it because it was from a side of that kind of era that you didn't know about? Or?
It was like it was a bit because it was more, but it was just the storytelling of it is something the character tells you when like the opening monologue and something he says in the ending monologue, which makes you
Realize something? Or
Pardon?
realize something?
Yeah,
or?
it makes you realize something that really blows your mind and really changes what you saw in the storyline. So I enjoyed Battlefield 1. I enjoyed the vignettes. That one particular vignette more than the others, but I did enjoy them. But I do like World War II a lot more, just because that's what I grew up learning.
Do you think? Do you think Call of Duty could give you that kind of oh shit moment when you're playing a side that you pretty much know everything about?
It already has because it could do it again because Call of Duty was it Ghosts? Call of Duty Ghosts? Whichever one was the Vietnam one, that one had a moment that made me say holy fuck. So I presume did you play Ghosts? Do you remember Ghosts?
No.
You're probably not going to remember. Ghost was the one where you found
I'm
out...
not going to play Ghost. No.
It Fight Clubbed you. So...
Oh, really?
Yeah, you found
Spoilers.
out to the end that one character you've been playing with the entire time was not there the entire time.
Oh, shit.
And you
I
find
haven't
out...
played any COD since Blops 2.
Till Black Ops 2? Okay.
I haven't played one since Black Ops 2.
Okay. You should... I think if you ever see this, like, maybe don't go out and buy it if you're not going to play it fully, but, like, go... Like, when it's a bit cheaper, go grab it, because I think the campaign's going to be really
I was like, I brought one, like, a month ago, but because it's really cheap, and I couldn't remember what it was, and I just leaned back. It was, I've got Infinity Warfare sitting on my shelf.
Yeah, I
like
bought that
$20.
game, turned it on once, and I've never gone back. Like, I didn't want to turn on the campaign. That's the
really?
campaign with Kit Harington. I heard
Yep.
bad things about it. I don't know. The thing about the stories, the other stories, is because for me as a gamer, because they're totally fictional and they're totally in the future, I'm not invested, or I don't feel invested to play the storylines. Where in these World War II ones, I feel like I have a lot of respect for those periods of time and the men that fought in those periods of time. So I think it's more fascinating to learn that way, and that's just my personal point of view. Is just the small fine touches, like
Yeah.
going into I can talk for hours about the history of the game and how interesting different bits are to me. Like they're having plastic bags on their guns when they went to Normandy, and how that killed more soldiers than it saved guns because people couldn't get the bags off to kill anybody with. So, I think. Even though Call of Duty has like a level where it's people just say it's just a Call of Duty game forever because it doesn't change.
People hate on Call of Duty. Like I hate on a lot of it, like Call of Duty online facts, but like Call of Duty campaigns, I've never really had a problem with. It's just like their online community and their multiplayer. I've never been a huge fan of. I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's the thing. It's very. It is for people in our industry and people who we are in our circles. It is very much the quote unquote casual gamers game.
Well, I had a lot of friends who they brought a PS3 just to play COD.
Yeah, all the same with PlayStation 4, and it's the reason why Sony's partnered with them so much is that people will buy consoles just to play Call of Duty. So. It's one of those things. I think if you're interested in the campaign, definitely pick it up when it's available for a price that you're willing to pay.
Yeah. My last thing was going to be, do you think... So, whenever I think Normandy and stuff like that, the ultimate, like, entertainment experience of World War II normally is always, I just think Saving Private Ryan.
It is on that level of Saving Private
It is on that level.
It is on that level.
You're making me want to play it more.
It's on that level of... That's literally what when I was playing it, I felt like Saving Private Ryan. Like, it very much... It throws me back to things that I've watched, like Saving Private Ryan or Band of Brothers. Because, they're both fantastic. And I think even though people think, that's just World War II, blah, 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 for looking into the future with how they go with these games, there's a lot of stuff that's untouched in World War II when it comes to video games. There's a lot of stories and interesting regions that people could go to for it. So I'd be excited for one of these people to do another one in the same time period in the coming future and pick a different...
this is Sledgehammer, right?
Yeah, this is Sledgehammer. Yeah, correct.
They do the best ones, as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, it used to be Treyarch. No, not Treyarch. It used to be Infinity Ward, but they went to crap.
Yep. Okay. High regards of Call of Duty. I'm glad you like it, because I remember when the trailer came out, I remember just, and it was like the trailer that got like the most dislikes on YouTube or whatever, like the reveal trailer. Yet when I watched it, I was like, oh, I'm suddenly interested in a Call of Duty for the first time
definitely.
in like
Exactly
6
the same
years.
as me.
And it's like so many dislikes. I'm like, I don't know what everyone's problem is.
Right. Unless everybody likes, running up walls and having jetpacks and crap. But I'm interested in getting back and playing some more of the campaign. I'm even playing some more multiplayer, maybe. I enjoy multiplayer games, so.
Yeah, I'm okay. That's cool. So you're selling me more on it. So because we haven't had time to play any of the big games and to discuss them and stuff like that. Like, I've got Assassin's Creed, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet. So I thought this week we'll discuss something which was kind of a funny thing that happened over the whole my whole 2-week trip to Melbourne for PAX and Extra Life. And it started when I was packing my bags. And it's the fact that I packed my Switch instead of my Vita. And yeah, everyone's giving me crap because, I was Mr. Give me the Vita 2, blah, 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 Vita's great. Still love my Vita. However, the Vita was I officially decided the Switch was my now go-to handheld console the day I stuck it in my bag to bring instead of my Vita on my holiday trip. And at an Extra Life stream, someone said something about the Vita, and I just had to be like, look, I'm finally on the Vita's dead train. Like, it's there. I've still got it charging. I mean, I might use it still, but it's like the Switch is my go-to handheld, and I'm quite loving Mario Odyssey. Ciaran can back me up on the.
I didn't get to play Odyssey because of him.
Yeah. So it's a good video game.
Vidya game.
It's a good vidya game.
Vidya game.
So in celebration of my lovely handheld, because that's basically all the gaming I got to do, I suppose, was handheld. I want to go through our favorite handhelds or whatever handhelds we had growing up. Kind of talk about what we think are the best games and all of them and stuff like that, and then round off the end of this subject, if we could, with a final kind of what could Sony do if they decided to actually make the Vita 2 a thing. But I think we should do that at the end, because ideas might spring to mind as we kind of go through the handheld history here. So I was going to just start at the original Game Boy, unless for some reason you had something before that, because that was my first handheld.
No, my first handheld was the Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color. I'm just putting like Game Boy as a whole
overall. Wait,
yeah. The advance is separate.
You're taking out the advance. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I mean like color and stuff like that. So if any games spring to mind as we go through, just yell out. Other than that, I'm just going to be reading off IGN top 25 list.
To save us all time, let's both admit now that all the Pokemons that we played on those games were fantastic.
I only ever played Yellow.
You only played Yellow?
Don't fucking start. We're not spending 10 minutes on that fucking shit. I only played Yellow.
I played Pokemon on every single one, but I don't want to stop and say this Pokemon was great every time. Just
Yeah,
blanket.
we don't need to discuss Pokemon. All the Pokemon games are great.
They were all fantastic.
My favorite, okay, well, just as a quick thing, so Pokemon Silver is probably would be my top. I don't know, it would be one of my favorite games of all time. Silver, that's my favorite Pokemon game. It's the only one I ever got all the Pokemon in. Like I got all 200, whatever the fucking amount was, 100 and 252 something.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. That was the only one I got them all in. And then you go to the person. One of the most crushing memories of my childhood was going to the professor people or whatever where they check your Pokedex and they're like, wow, you've got them all. And they're like, here, you can have the certificate. Plug in your Game Boy printer to print it out. And I'm like, I don't have a Game Boy printer. Like, why would I...
Why would I have one of those?
Who the fuck owns those?
Pokemon Snap?
Fucking God. Yeah, so we don't really discuss Pokemon. I mean, most people agree that Pokemon is probably one of the reasons handheld gaming did so well, basically because our generation just ran around fucking Game Boys and Pokemon and link cables and stuff like that. Like,
definitely. And also, Game Freaks, give me a Pokemon on either the Switch? Or give it to me on the Switch. Give me a full Pokemon game.
Don't say or, just say give me Game Freaks, give me a proper Pokemon game on the Switch.
But also give it to me where there's like every Pokemon region is in that game.
Yeah.
It would be huge, but give it to me because I want it all.
I want it all. Just do it, baby. All right, so
God.
Tetris, I never played. Don't really care. Tetris is a great game. I never played one on Game Boy, but everyone talks about the one that's on there like it's the fucking bee's knees. Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, great Zelda game. Not one of my favorite ones. I think most people reckon it's like one of the best Zelda games, or consider it like the best Zelda game. I hear a lot of people say it's the best one. It's like Ocarina, of course, is often considered the best one, but I hear a lot of people say like Link's Awakening's over.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah. I never really got into Zeldas until Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time.
Oh, and really? So you started in the...
And then...
You started in the third... you started playing... You played proper 3D Zeldas.
Yeah,
first.
I played proper 3D Zeldas, and then... I think there's only two handheld Zeldas I want to talk about, but they're later on, so...
Yep. Dr. Mario? Did you ever play Dr. Mario?
No, but I remember it because it was pretty much just Tetris, yep.
It was Tetris, but it was cool.
I think I played it on an emulator. I'm sorry, that's a dirty word in this talk, but emulator.
Tetris, my favorite version of Tetris, I discovered while going for Easy Platinum. It was in the Sega Genesis collection. It was the Dr. Robotnik's something or other.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, but that is actually my favorite. Like, that was the only thing on that disc that I played, like, just for fun, for some reason. But that is the best. If we want to talk about Tetris, that's the best version of Tetris ever made. Bunch of Metroid games and stuff like that. I'm not a big Metroid person. Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons. I can give a shout out to Legend of Zelda Oracle of... Which one did I have? Oh, I had Seasons. That was my first Zelda game. This was my first Zelda game.
Okay.
And this is important for when we get to GBA, because my favorite Zelda game of all time is on GBA. But I think the reason it's one of my is my favorite is because I started playing Zelda as a what do you want to call them? The top-down handheld ones. By the time I tried Ocarina of Time and stuff like that, I hated playing Zelda as a proper 3D game.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want a little boy Zelda running around. That sounds way more fun to me than all the rest of this crap.
While we're on the topic of Game Boy, I might be skipping over it, but throwbacks and shout out to anybody that watched our extra live stream. Galaga.
Oh yeah, Galaga.
Galaga, or as normal people who understand the language of English, Galaga.
Mario Tennis?
Nope.
No?
No.
Oh god.
No, I was a bit sporadic on the actual Nintendo games on my handhelds.
Pokemon Pinball?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes,
I did play. Talking about Pokemon, it's not on this list, but... Okay, so it's not... I'm looking for a list. I'm like, apparently I didn't... Most of these games I don't really care about. So my favorite... My favorite games that weren't on the list, Game Boy games, other than Pokemon and Zelda, are Pokemon, the trading card game, the game.
Okay, yep.
I played a hell of a lot of. It taught me how to understand the cards that I was collecting as a kid because I didn't understand instruction booklets. However, just playing the game would teach me. And it was just a really cool, I don't know, it was just really fun. It was a cool game. It was the first like card game, like card battle game I'd played, I suppose, like that. Like I never played. Years later, I'd get like the Yu-Gi-Oh ones on GBA and stuff like that to play, but the Pokemon card game. It's probably the best card game I've played, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Like a single player one. I'm not talking like Hearthstone or anything like that. Like a single player based one, because none of the Yu-Gi-Oh ones are very good. There's Yu-Gi-Oh ones at PS1 and stuff I played.
I enjoyed the Yu-Gi-Oh ones. There was one of them that was like the War of the Roses or something that I really liked.
Yeah, I remember that one. I didn't like it. That was the PS2 one, I think.
I liked it only because I knew the history that was related to it.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
And then my other... I was just going like top 3 is like Pokemon, that, and the Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone game. Yes. Which is highly underrated.
Yes.
And was a fucking fantastic
I remember
RPG.
that game.
And hard as fuck.
Because when I was... Hard. Yes, because I remember those stuff like you had to go meet Draco downstairs for like the midnight duel and stuff. And yes, I do remember that game.
Great fucking game.
What a great game.
Do you have any shout-outs?
Original Game Boy? Game Boy... I guess my Game Boy was really just a Pokemon machine from what I can remember.
Yeah, I think that's what it was for a lot of people. I mean, we're kids. We didn't have that many games. It was like I'd get a couple games a year probably. It's like Christmas, birthday. Maybe I could afford one if I saved my pocket money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, that's really good for that. So I'm just going to move on to GBA.
Okay, go for it.
Golden Sun.
Are we including, when you're talking GBA, you also include like the SP, even though it was a different game.
It didn't have it separate. Yeah, I mean, it just took GBA games.
Just so GBA, that's cool.
Golden Sun, did you play?
I did. I don't remember heaps of it, but I remember playing it and enjoying it.
I had a friend in school who had it, and I played his version once when we was at a school carnival. He's like, I've got to go do my 500-meter run or whatever the hell the teachers dared make you do. Horrible fucks. And he's like, here, you can play this while I'm doing it. And he gave me his Game Boy. And I didn't have a Game Boy Advance at this time. I would get one later in the year for my birthday or Christmas or something like that. But one of the first games I wanted was Golden Sun and the Golden Sun was probably one of the first RPGs I played as well. Apart from like Harry Potter or something like that. I still hadn't played a Final Fantasy, anything like that. And Golden Sun was this open world RPG where you'd go around, you'd collect characters slowly as the story progressed, you'd unlock more. Each character was different powers, stuff like that. Like you didn't change classes on them. It was like each person's skills were attached to their character of what they could do and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just a proper turn-based, I don't know, it was just a really cool JRPG and it stands in my memory. It's one of the games where they only made a couple, and I don't think they've made one for however many years and years and years. And I often I'll see random forum posts or stuff on Reddit of like people being like, what RPG franchise or JRPG franchise do you wish they'd bring back? And so many people are like, Golden Sun, put a Golden Sun on Switch or 3DS or something. I'm like, oh, yeah, so I think it's held in high regard to
definitely is.
To a lot of people that played it. Harvest Moon, I suppose, is a thing I don't really care about, but it's like worth shouting out just because.
How can you not care about it? Are you just not?
I haven't played any of them. I've never played Harvest Moon.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people that played it on the GBA were like obsessed, I suppose. It was one of those things you could just own that game for the console and just play it for 1,000 hours, I guess.
You could just turn that console into a farming simulator game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do that with Strata now.
Stardew.
Stardew. Thank you.
Stardew Valley.
Strata. Got him. All right.
Okay.
My favorite Zelda game of all time. GBA game. The Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap. Did you play this?
No.
Now, as I was talking about Mario before and how much I'm loving Odyssey, you'll find two related things between my love for Odyssey and Minish Cap.
Caps?
Yep. Link has a talking hat in Minish Cap. I believe it's like a village of talking hats.
Okay.
Yep.
Right, so this isn't like a mainstream Zelda, because I don't even think I've heard of this one.
Well, you should look it up because it has cartoon cool Link that everyone hates on that kind of is like Wind Waker kind of art style and stuff like that. It was like the puzzles were built around You could like shrink and grow. Yeah, and that was like a lot of the puzzle solving. Plus, you had like a character on your head all the time, so you got some extra. It added, I don't know, it just added more character. But it's always stood out as my favorite one because I don't know. I think I like Zelda this way. I like Zelda as a top-down dungeon crawling game. I prefer playing them like this, and I think it's just because I didn't play any of the quote unquote proper Zeldas until only a couple years ago. Like 4 or 5 years ago was the first time I tried to play Ocarina of Time, and that was the first proper Zelda I had ever played.
Crazy.
And I know, but it's just like, and I'm not the biggest fan. I want to play not Twilight. What the fuck is the one called on Switch?
Breath of the
Wild.
Wild.
I want to give Breath of the Wild a go, obviously, and maybe I will enjoy it. I reckon I'll enjoy it. But at the same time, one of the reasons I never ran out the grab is because I'm like, it's not the way I like Zelda.
Can you buy it before the end of the year? Can you play it?
I want to. Because I want to do it for like Game of the Year.
Yeah, it's in that discussion.
I feel like I need to at least, I probably won't finish it, but I'd like to at least put in like a decent amount of hours to have
so you can understand it a bit better.
opinion on it. But yeah, there's the shout out to the Minish Cap. Best Zelda game ever made as far as I'm concerned. Mario Kart Super Circuit. I think that was my first Mario Kart game because I never had a 64. So that's shout out to that, I guess. But here's what you find. Like my Nintendo history is on handhelds, like as well. I never had 64. I never had a SNES. I never had a GameCube, stuff like that.
Yeah, my first Nintendo console was the Game Boy.
Handhelds and stuff like that. Yeah. So a lot of my introductions to franchises that were main Nintendo franchises were like spin-off versions made for handhelds.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. It's just
you didn't know that they were terrible.
That's how I learnt the franchise. Yeah. Fire Emblem.
Fantastic. I love the crap out of that game.
Yeah.
And which I'm hoping is next on your list, Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced.
That was literally the next thing I was going to talk about.
I've
Hard as Fuck
Yep.
was the first tactical game I ever played, and I really love them now. Like, once again, Switch, Mario Rabbids. As soon as I see when the PSP came out and when the Vita came out, the one game I'd been asking for the entire run of their life cycles, I was like, make a Tactics. That's all I want. If they'd made a Final Fantasy Tactics for the Vita, that would have just been my automatic pick for like. That would have been me done for life, probably. That's all I wanted from it, and I never ever got one. Yeah, I don't know what this Final Fantasy Tactics is amazing, and I don't know they did the stupid War of the Line whatever, but it was just a remake. It wasn't a new one, and they never did like a proper sequel to it or like a proper spin-off. I don't know. They just never made one, but it's honestly probably one of the best Final Fantasies they ever made.
Give us more. Give us more Tactics, please.
But yeah, it's hard as all fuck. I remember restarting the game a million times over because I'd get stuck, and as a child I would do the whole thing where it's like, well, I fucked up, so I'll just start again, and I'll just replay the first half of the game over and over and over and over and over because I didn't care. Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, which is the Kanuki suit, which is probably my go-to version of Mario.
Really? It's your go-to version of it?
No, like if I picture my first version of my first where I enjoyed Mario. I had Super Mario Brothers on my original Game Boy, but I didn't like it much. Okay. Like I thought it was too hard, and I hated it because I was terrible at it as a kid. Like I didn't enjoy playing it.
Would you ever go back in time and tell you like the child version of you to get good?
No.
No? Okay, fair enough.
Just got to experience things, and I think Kanuki suit though more fun.
More fun because you just fly.
Well, it was a more colourful game. You could fly around, all sorts of things. I think Yoshi was in this one. Yoshi wasn't in the original one. The original Super Mario Brothers.
Just like flat motherfuckers.
Yeah, sorry. Flat motherfuckers. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Which one did you have?
I had Ruby. Yeah, I had Ruby for that section.
I had Sapphire. Got that Kyogre.
That's interesting because I had Gold when you had Silver.
Oh, shit. Our lives are literally the fucking opposites.
They're the opposite. We're meant to be.
Final Fantasy VI Advance. So that's what a lot of people consider one of the...
Final Fantasy VI is probably the most underrated Final Fantasy in the series.
I don't think it's underrated.
It's not as underrated as 9, but...
No.
It should be in the same conversation as Final Fantasy VII. an 8 and 10.
I think people who have played 6 know talk highly of it. It's just not enough people.
You've never hated a clown more in your life until you've played Final Fantasy VI.
What's his name? Tess?
Oh, I can't remember his name now, but he was a douchebag.
Super Mario Advance 3, Yoshi's Island. That is where you get to run around as like baby Mario and a little Yoshi, and it's real cute and stuff like that. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Golf. Shout out to Mario Golf. We wouldn't have games like Golf Story or Everybody's Golf probably without Mario Golf, because it was like the really simple, just fun golf where it's like, this isn't boring, and PGA and like trying to be serious. So that's great. They have on this list. They have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I don't remember ever playing a Tony Hawk's on a GBA or seeing one. Advance Wars. I never played, but I know people love it.
Going back to Tony Hawk's 2, that was my first Tony Hawk's game, I think.
Really? On the GBA?
On the GBA, that was my first Tony Hawk game, and I loved it.
Fuck.
And it started my my love for all of those games.
A Link to the Past, I had. This is the one where it had 4 swords in it. However, I never got to play 4. Well, I tried playing 4 swords a lot. However, you needed friends to play it, and I would just do it myself. Our WarioWare is on this list as well, which I was never a huge fan of. However, These days I kind of respect it more because I realized that it was like kind of the first of its kind. This whole like bunch of mini game.
Yeah, it was the first thing that kind of even stuff like I even reckon stuff like Jackbox party games kind of owe a lot to WarioWare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're just silly and stuff like that. Any Game Boy Advance games that were on that list that
you've ticked up a lot of my favorites. Just quickly running through my list I had here. The only other one was the Metroid game on the system.
Yeah.
What was that? Zero Mission? Metroid
Zero
Mission?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, no, Metroid Zero Mission. It was it was another, that was the first Metroid game I'd ever played.
And it's like a spin-off one, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was a spin-off.
Yeah. So you're doing a me.
I reckon that's what a lot of... You got to shout out to Portables, because Portables got kids into franchises with these spin-offs. With these smaller games that kids would play and then build up a understanding of Zelda and Metroid and Mario and all those kind of games. And then when you see them on a bigger console, it would make you want to buy the bigger console to play on that.
Yeah. My other 2 random shout-outs were going to be Duke Nukem. I don't know what it was actually called, but there was a Duke Nukem game on the GBA. That was my first Duke Nukem game.
Okay.
And I played that a lot. I think it was pretty much just a remake or a port of the original Duke Nukem.
Yep.
I think it looked a little bit better and obviously it controlled different and stuff like that. But that was my first-person shooter.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So that obviously stands out because we play a lot of first-person shooters these days.
Yes, we do. We do indeed. Also, that somehow reminded me of a game completely unrelated, but it was the game I absolutely like. It was always in my Game Boy Advance. Was the Jackie Chan Adventures game? So,
holy shit! Like the cartoon show.
Like the cartoon show. Yeah, there was a game for that show that I loved the crap out of. That was.
I don't remember. I never had this game. I didn't even know they made a game.
They made 2 games.
Shout out to that show.
They made one for the GBA and one for the PlayStation 2.
My goodness. I had a medallion, like his medallion.
I
think I must have got it from like a magazine. It was like a magazine collection.
My mum and dad paid the subscription, and I had all of them.
Yeah.
All of like the talismans for the different like powers and stuff. I had all of them in a special box.
You're a fucking lucky son of a bitch. I just had the normal medallion, and I just wore it to school, everything like that. I just
shout out to the Jackie Chan Adventures. That show was amazing.
What a show! All right, moving on to Nintendo DS. Wait, hold on. I forgot. My other shout out to the GBA was going to be the Spyro Crash crossover games.
Oh, yes. Yep. No, I do remember those.
Because that was the first time I ever lost my mind because they combined 2 franchises that I loved.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, as a kid. All right, DS. Super Scribblenauts. Which blew my mind at the time. And at the time, I mean, I was a teenager, I guess. But Scribblenauts blew my mind. Just because it was like, you can write words and like just stuff comes into the game. You can be like share thing, do it, and then it comes in. But you could break the game very easily.
But then you'd also find the one thing that he couldn't create.
And it ruined it for you?
Yeah.
But I tried to purposely not do that because I never wanted to like ruin the
mystery of it.
the experience thing. Yeah. I just wanted it to always work, so I played along with its rules it's set for me. Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. I think I played that and it wasn't the greatest. I've never been the greatest Castlevania fan, so
I haven't been a fan. I'm never a fan of those style of games. Like even like I've tried to come back and play the earlier Metroid games, and I haven't loved them as much. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 9.
Yes, Dragon Quest. Come at me.
Not my favorite. My first Dragon Quest was Dragon Quest 8 on PS2.
Yes.
And that was more like proper. Well, by proper I mean the graphics were a bit different, and then I think I played 9 a bit, and I just didn't like the more like squished down cartoon.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I was like another one a bit more. I don't know what the fuck this is. Like sometimes I'm seeing games on this. I'm like, what the fuck? 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Developer by Chunsoft. So this must be a fucking like a written visual novel, which would probably make sense because I'm pretty sure the DS had a shit ton of visual novel games. However, when I was younger, I would not care about visual novel games enough to buy any of them for the DS. To be fair. What the fuck is going on here? Ace Attorney.
Oh yes, these games were like this was my jam. All of the Ace Attorneys were fantastic. Exactly what I wanted.
I'm gonna give a shout out. However, I never played them on the DS. I played them on my phone.
Okay.
Only several years ago was the first time I played a Phoenix Wright game, and I brought the iPhone versions of the games.
I had like a weird thing where I started playing the Ace Attorney games later in their life cycle, and I played the Ace Attorney games where there was one where Phoenix got replaced. Phoenix wasn't in the game; he was like a homeless man for some reason.
Yeah.
I started there and then went backwards and got the.
That's a really weird. Yep, that probably fucked you up.
Yep.
A bit.
Yep, definitely.
Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks.
My God,
I think a lot of people hate on this game.
I don't know why. That and Phantom Hourglass were both great. Both fantastic.
Everyone hates the touch controls. However, I always really enjoyed them. The only thing I hated in the games was the stuff you had to do stuff where you had to like blow into the speaker and stuff like this to do certain stuff in these games. That's the only thing I hated. The drawing to solve puzzles or whatever the stylus and stuff you had to do, absolutely no problem.
Also, the coolest, and like this was like I wanted more of it. The stuff where you could like on the map, you bring the map up and you could write notes, draw on the map, just so you're like, that was so handy, so handy.
It was. It'd help you with puzzles and you could take notes and stuff like that. I actually really love doing that stuff because you felt like it just makes you feel good. Like when you play a game where you're like, fuck, I have to pull out like pen and paper to take notes for something or something like that. You're like, fuck. And you're like playing a Zelda game. You're like opening up the map and you're like circling areas and stuff like that. You're like, there's a thing over here. I have to find a key. This thing over the thing and the thing. You just feel like it makes you feel like you're solving stuff like way more cleverer.
Cleverer, yeah.
I just say whatever words I want.
Yeah, clearly.
Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. I never played this.
Nope.
Advance Wars Dual Strike. I never played this. Professor Layton and the Curious Village. I did play it. That's probably actually my first visual novel, even though it's a visual novel /
adventure puzzle game,
adventure game or whatever. Professor Layton games are really cool. I played 3 of them, and I don't think I finished a single one of them because I'd get stuck on a puzzle eventually. However, still really cool. Great art style. Well, great art style because it's like level 5 and they just do... Even without level 5 combining with Studio Ghibli to do Ni no Kuni, level 5 still puts out really cool looking...
They do indeed.
Art style. What the fuck is Pokemon Conquest? I've never heard of this.
Was that the RPG? There's like a bigger... Well, I think it's a bit different. I can't remember. I can remember Pokemon Ranger.
I remember that too. I never had it.
I destroyed...
Did you have the Dungeon Crawler one?
Pardon?
Mystery Dungeon.
Mystery Dungeon. I never played Mystery Dungeon.
Okay, I played that.
I heard cool things. Pokemon Ranger. I remember it because at the time my friend of mine was going on holiday, and he just bought a brand new DS and that game. And he goes, here, you can borrow it while I'm on holiday. Just give it back to me once I'm done. Played the crap out of that game. I destroyed his DS by the time he got back because I had like literally scratched circles into the...
Really?
Into the touchpad. There were circles of me drawing round on it. So go me.
I can't really figure out what Conquest is, so I'm just going to move on. But I've never heard of that game in my whole life.
Okay, tweet at us at Explosion Pod, or at Viva La Del, or at your boy Ringo. Tell us what the hell it is.
Just tell me what the fuck Pokemon Conquest is. Grand Theft Auto China Wars.
Yes, this game was really weird, but really cool.
Yep, it was. And then they put it... What was it? They took it off that console and put it on something else anyway.
Did they put it on the PSP or on the PlayStation?
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, that's the thing. Elite Beat Agents is a game that I remember... So,
is that the dancing one?
Yep, it is. I never owned it. However, Elite Beat Agents sticks into my memory because... Okay. So it came out November 8, 2006. I was about to say, this year will help. If you go listen to This Week's Pleasure, if I ever put it up and cut it out of our stream, the topic was, like, gaming history. And I talk about how I started getting more serious about gaming and stuff by watching, like, game trailer, TV, podcasts, and stuff like this. And Elite Beat Agent sticks into my memory because that is the game they would talk so much about in a lot of their podcasts and stuff. And I was always like, man, I really need to get this game because they were constantly like hyping it up as one of the best games of the year. So if that came out in 2006, it means, yeah, I started getting more serious into games media, whatever, stuff, games media in the year 2006 because that game is tied to that thing. Animal Crossing. You can tell I've done so much fucking talking like the last week because my words are just... Animal Crossing Wild World, I never played. I've never played an Animal Crossing game. Have you played an Animal Crossing game?
I have played some Animal Crossings. I haven't played a lot of them, but some of them. Yeah. And they're enjoyable.
The World Ends With You was another game that I never got money or time to afford, or I could actually never even find it. I don't think I've ever seen it in real life, but it was a game that I really wanted to play. Did you play it?
Yes, I did.
Is it as good as it looked to me?
It's very, very good. It was amazing.
It was for people that know, it was like a RPG where a lot of it involved around your clothes or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they powered you up. I'm not really sure. New Super Mario Brothers. This is the one where Mario could get really big.
It was I didn't play it. I never had it. I think I should have had it, but I never did. That was the one where you just literally...
I should have had it.
Mario got big and just stomped through levels. I was like,
yep,
whatever.
That was it.
Don't you know platforming?
Mario and Luigi Partners in Time.
No.
Which was like another...
No. I remember,
RPG.
Wasn't there was a Luigi's Mansion spin-off, wasn't there, on the DS?
Was there?
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all. Mario Kart DS, which I have fond memories of because I got my DS... This has all helped me... I kept reading release dates. I'm like, okay, so now I know exactly what year I got stuff. No, I got this when I was on a family holiday in Queensland. I brought a DS while I was there. My brother got a DS while I was there on holidays too, and we both spent a lot of time racing each other in hotel rooms. And that is my Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, boy, without no
memories.
connector cable.
Without no connector cable, and it blew my fucking mind because could be laying in my own room or whatever, and we could be racing. And it was craziness. Also, I just randomly remembered, shout out to DS for the whole share function thing, where you had all these games where it's like, and the 3DS still does it now, some of the games, where it's the share card, you could race in Mario, even if the other person didn't own like the game cartridge.
Oh, okay.
And some games still do that now, where it's like the multiplayer mode you could just share with someone else and they can just play multiplayer with you without actually having to buy it.
Shout out to the DS. This is where Nintendo really started integrating the social facts into their devices, like Street Pass and stuff like that. So shout out to that.
Do you have any more games to shout out? The only one I was going to shout out was Nintendogs, which I played a bit too much of.
Nintendogs?
I'm not afraid.
Are you scared to plug your Nintendogs cartridge back in today?
Why? I don't have it. I've
It'd be dead, wouldn't it?
No, I don't know if they time. Well, they probably did. They weren't Tamagotchis.
Yeah, well, Poor
Luckily.
Nintendogs. There's a lot of games that I cannot remember on the DS. I played a lot on that Nintendo DS. Shout out to the Pokemon Black and White. They were fantastic. No, I'm good. Keep going.
Okay. So, PSP. Did you own a PSP?
I did own a PSP.
I'm actually surprised, to be honest.
No, I had one. It was my flight to Australia console was the PSP.
Oh! Wait, you're not Australian?
Pardon?
You're not Australian?
What? No.
Alright, first game, Daxter.
Yes, it was the reason I had one.
Yep. It was the first game I played too, and it was really good, and I was highly surprised. And it was the reason it was really good was probably because it was like a proper platformer. It was more like Ratchet and Clank or something because it was like
Or Jack and Daxter 1, like the first one.
or Jack and Daxter 1,
Precursor
to be fair,
Legend,
yeah. It was more of a platform and stuff like that, whereas Jack 2 and 3 were obviously more
GTA.
third-person shooter stuff. I don't know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. You get to play as... I feel like the reason people didn't like it is if they don't like the character of Daxter anyway. They just find him really annoying.
How would you find Daxter annoying? Like, honestly,
I know, it's
come
just
on.
people... I know some people just find that character annoying, so...
You don't have souls.
Fair enough. Yeah. Killzone Liberation
Nope.
was the first Killzone game I ever played.
Yeah,
And
no.
it was, I didn't like it that much because I had no context or reason to really care. And
There was a SOCOM game that
it?
I had, and it was hard as balls.
I think also game games are kind of hard.
Yeah, but I remember that being one, and I played it like twice, and was like, nope.
Pixel Junk Monsters, which is the tower defense one, which is really great.
Okay.
It's a great game. I love tower defense games. I love good tower defense games. Much like they're just like RTSs. It's like they're good RTSs. Except for you don't have to move like Age of Empires or StarCraft or some shit. You like got the huge map. You're constantly moving backwards and forwards between everything you own. Whereas I love tower defense games because it's just like it's micromanaging whatever you can kind of just see on one screen, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like you just upgrade towers, sell them. Let's play. Well, Plants vs Zombies as well, which I love. I think I'll give that a shout out when we get to the Vita in a minute because it's probably one of my favorite Vita games. But shout out to Plants vs Zombies. I fucking love that game.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep is I never played.
Played it on the PS3.
Well, fucking,
So.
yeah, I might play it one day. Right, shout out to all the Grand Theft Auto Stories games.
Yep, Vice City Stories and Liberty City Stories were both
Yep,
really good.
fucking fantastic. And they were. It was that I think playing Grand Theft Auto game on my handheld was like one of those moments where it's like, wow, the PSP is like so crazy. Also, the fact you could put music on your PSP and then play it in game.
Yep.
You put the files on there. That was a great feature. Resistance Retribution was a really great Resistance game, and it's better than because it was a third person one, which was really good. Interesting for the Resistance franchise. Multiplayer was shit, but it was great, and it was a lot better than the one they put out on the Vita, which was a first person whatever one that I didn't really care about. So
Was the MotorStorm game, was that PSP or was that Vita?
there's one on both, I think. No, there is a PSP mode.
There is a PSP MotorStorm? Cool. Because I really enjoyed that one.
I can't remember what it's called, but there is one. That was good. Hot Shots Golf, or whatever it was called here, which would have been Everybody's Golf, I presume.
Yep, probably.
Because I think that's the thing. I guess. I was about to say, I'm just going for it. I just saw Vice City Stories, but I'm like, we just said that, so that doesn't really count for shit. Luminous. Did you ever play Luminous?
No, I did not play Numerous.
Loco Roco?
No.
Okay, because the PSP had like a thing of like great rhythm-based games, I guess, which is really great. Do you like rhythm-based games?
Yes. No, I guess I like the Guitar Hero and stuff. I don't really love the other ones. I don't know. I haven't tried. I thought about picking up Loco Roco when it was
Put out?
put
Yeah, it's
out.
really pretty.
Yeah, maybe. That could be a thing.
I can shout out Tactics again because War of the Lions is on PSP. So shout out to Final Fantasy Tactics twice. And shout out to Final Fantasy Crisis Core, which is the best PSP game.
It is fantastic. I want that
They made me
re-released.
cry.
Re-release it for me.
Yeah.
Give it.
I'd play it again.
Even remaster it. Fuck it. Remake it. Make it so people understand.
I cried so hard at the end of that game.
It's like if If you love Final Fantasy VII, you really needed to play Crisis Core
It
because
crushes you.
it like destroys you on the insides. And like, did you go back and play Final Fantasy VII after you beat Crisis Core the first time?
Yep.
Because that
You had to.
changed the
You
game.
have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, it kind of spoils Final Fantasy VII. One of Final Fantasy VII's twists.
Yes.
If you play it though.
Yes.
But it's great anyway. Also, it has a really cool. One of the coolest Final Fantasy cinematics is when Sephiroth is like training, fighting one of the main characters in it.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool. Final Fantasy Dissidia, I really like. Did you ever play Dissidia?
No.
I'm looking forward because they got the new one coming out. It's because as someone who's not like a huge fighting game fan, I just enjoyed. I knew it was like one of these games where you could get deeper into the mechanics and stuff like that if you really wanted to. But if you didn't need to, well, it's the same as Smash Brothers. It's like Smash Brothers, you can get deeper into mechanics if you really want to. But other than that, I can just enjoy playing as a bunch of characters I like and seeing them smash face into each other for an enjoyable amount of time. Patapon?
Nope.
Nope. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is the second best game on the console.
All right. What's the number one?
Number one is Crisis Core.
Okay.
But
I thought you was about to say one I hadn't said.
no.
I was like, no, I agree.
Crisis Core is my favorite game on the PSP.
Yeah. Do you have anyone shout out?
The only thing that randomly to shout out was there was a Pirates of the Caribbean game on the PSP that was really good. Like I played the crap out of it, and it was fantastic. I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be linked to like the third movie or the second movie. But it was a movie game that I enjoyed.
Fair enough.
That is all.
I've got nothing. I couldn't think of anything else other than stuff we hadn't mentioned. PSP was great though.
There was another.
3DS.
There was another Metal Gear game. There was like a Metal Gear Tactics game, wasn't there?
There was Metal Gear Acid. Are you talking about that?
Yes.
It was like the card.
Yes, that one. That was really weird,
down.
but really.
That was really weird. It was really good, but it wouldn't be like one of my favorite PSP games.
But it was
but
good.
I played. It was good. It was a lot of fun. They had you could play it with like 3D glasses or like I don't know. It's fucking weird. Fucking Metal Gear Solid games are always weird. Yeah. Okay, 3DS. 3DS is kind of where I started dying off on the Nintendo handhelds because I've only played a handful of games on my 3DS, yet for some fucking reason I've owned like 4 of them.
Really?
Yeah, and I still own 2, and I'm tempted to sell both or at least one, and they're both Zelda Special Edition ones. Like I've got the Link Between Worlds Special Edition 3DS, and I've got the Majora's Mask Majora's Mask one. And I'm like, I don't need 2 3DSs. As far as I'm concerned, the 3DS should just die at this point, and Nintendo should just move everything to Switch. So I don't even care.
I thought that was the plan until they recently started announcing DS games again. And I was like, I hate you, Nintendo. Stop supporting that piece of crap. Just go to the Switch.
Yeah, so I didn't really play. I was trying to think of games before, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't really play that many, but I owned it for some reason. And the first one I brought was secondhand off one of my friend's brothers. Was like, I'm gonna sell my 3DS if anyone wants to buy it for like $150, and I was like, I'll fucking buy a 3DS for $150. SteamWorld Dig. This is where it came out first, I suppose. So shout it out on the 3DS. Bravely Default's probably my favorite 3DS games. Bravely Default and then Bravely. Oh fuck, I'm mental blanking on the second one's name, but they're both my favorite 3DS games, and probably the games I played the most on the 3DS because they're just old school Final Fantasy games. And playing Project Octopath Traveler on the Switch demo, which is made by the same people. And that's like a demo. I put like 10 to 15 hours in, I think, for a fucking demo. So it's just like, I don't know. These people making these Bravely Default games and whatever the hell else, they just get me. They get me hooked easy. And they got really cool art too. Like I brought the collector's edition for Bravely, whatever the second one is, and I can't remember the name of because I'm a horrible human being. But I brought the collector's edition, and it comes with this really fucking sweet art book, and I was
like, really fucking sweet art book.
Well, sometimes you get collector's edition, you get these little rectangle art books, like just the small ones. This was like a proper, like full-sized art book. So I loved it so much. Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, I suppose, the 3D versions. They're cool, I guess.
I enjoyed them both because I love those two
just-
games.
Yeah. I mean, I like them. I like them because they made them easier. And by easy, I mean they added like the whole hint feature and like stuff like that. Because I remember when I tried to play Ocarina on a friend's Nintendo 64 when I was like 15 or 16 or something, or however old I was getting so annoyed I didn't know where the fuck I was going in Ocarina all the time or what the hell I was supposed to be doing. And there was like no hint function. And when I tried to play it on 3DS, I was like, thank fuck, game. I don't care. I'll take your hints. Shovel Knight. Great game.
Shovel
Shovel
Knight.
Knight's a great game.
Yeah.
Shout out Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Do you like? Oh, you already said you don't like those type of games. Pokemon X and Y. I never played them.
Neither did I. I think. Oh, I might have. Maybe. Is that the current version? Is that the newest one?
I think so.
Then no,
no,
I
the
didn't.
current one's the Sun and Moon. I think actually.
No, the newest one was Sun and Moon when they got rid of gyms, and I was really confused.
Yeah. 3D Land.
I played. I didn't. It was okay. It was pretty good.
No, I think it's pretty. And then Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, which I'd say is, apart from Bravely Default, the only 3DS game I really enjoyed. I don't like the 3DS that much. None of the games really interested me. I remember the first couple of years just thinking it was too gimmicky on the 3D function. A lot of the games are like none of them really that cool to me. Link Between Worlds is probably my top 3 Zelda games, but as was said, I enjoy those ones a lot more than the quote-unquote proper ones, so Link Between Worlds is great. I love it. I think I finished it really fucking fast, too. It was the last Zelda game I played as well and finished.
3DS,
right.
I think I've got a decent amount of shout-outs for.
Yeah? Go for it, because I just gave it shit for being crap, so...
Yeah, no. So, shout-out to Mario Maker, which was the last game I bought for my 3DS.
Oh, yes. I forgot that was even on it.
Yeah, no, Mario Maker was really good. I really enjoyed that on my 3DS, so shout out to that. Paper Mario. Mario was on the 3DS.
Never played it. What was that like?
Paper Mario is like a traditional RPG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's really
Maybe
good.
I would like it.
You would like it. Like, Paper Mario is really, really good. I really enjoyed all the Paper Mario games. Did you ever play Yoko Watch?
No, it was something that I thought might interest me, but
That game,
I didn't get
they were
to
really interesting games as well. There's one other. I'm just trying to look through the list just so I can remind myself. Because they did the annoying thing with the 3DS where they just started to, like, re-release stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like, they just re-released...
They did that straight out the gate, basically.
Pardon? Yeah.
They did that straight out the gate,
Yes,
basically. So.
yes, they did. With Ocarina of Time and... Oh, and Metroid Samus Returns. I played a little bit on a friend's console, which was... Yeah, it was good. It wasn't amazing. But that's really all I've got for 3DS now. I'm looking at it.
Fair enough.
I
I don't want to do Vita really because I would like to do a special Platinum Explosion
A burial?
bury the Vita episode where we do like a full top
And like a
10
list. Freaking, like we just do like a whole...
and then play music and then we'll throw some dirt on the mics or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, probably don't do that. But I was going to just say I'll shout out to like Hotline Miami, Plants vs Zombies, bunch of other shit. That's pretty cool and I really enjoy. But right, so main question. The Switch is now my console, my handheld console of choice, and I really love it. And the Vita is basically dead, and most people, there's a high percentage of people that play mobile games, and that's of course counts as a handheld thing. Even if you want to argue people it's not a proper console, mobile phones do count as like proper. Well, to be fair, the Switch is also a hybrid console. It's it's a main console plus a handheld.
Yes.
Mobile phones might as well be hybrid consoles. I don't know. What do you think the Vita 2 would have to look like to be even have a chance of being a thing? And do you think what is your like 50-50 or 60-40 or whatever chance of it actually happening?
Can I give you my honest answer first and then I'll indulge you? My honest answer
Yeah.
should be don't do it.
Really, but why?
I don't think. I don't know. I don't think.
They couldn't fight Nintendo at this stage?
I don't think you can fight Nintendo with a Switch. That Switch is just. It's had a really good first year. And also, I don't believe Sony puts enough backing and support into these handheld machines to make it worth it.
Yep.
Like, I don't think they don't treat it like a real console. They don't treat it like something they actually care about in many ways, in my opinion. A lot of the times, it's like, hey, insert AAA developer here, can you make like a half-ass spin-off game for this console we're launching?
Well, not only that, but they did that at the start and then just kind of didn't do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they was like, can you make a Call of Duty? Can you make what Assassin's Creed game, all that sort of stuff? And they were like half-assed, whatever. Actually, I think the Assassin's Creed one was fine, but the Call of Duty was shit on Vita. But then after year one, you never even saw any more of these shitty half-assed games. They didn't even try to make them.
And it's my fears with how Sony has acted with the PSP and the PS Vita, which led my fears for the VR headset, is because they kind of just go, let's move on to the next thing. Let's just do something else now.
To be fair, they're doing all right with the headset.
VR headset, you're doing all right. Keep it up, Sony. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'll believe
So
you
what
in
would
another
they-
year. If it's worth buying in another year, I'll be proud of Sony. But I don't know. I just don't think. The only thing I can think of,
dream version. They come out
the
at
only thing I
stage.
can honestly think of is if they developed something that was like almost Switch size, maybe even a little bigger, maybe a bit small, like a bit, I don't know, but something where you could almost port the data from your PS4 of a game onto it and then walk out and play it. Like, make remote play work away from your console.
Yep.
Like, that's my biggest thing, is that with the Switch, the game I'm playing when I'm, in Melbourne without my actual console, and the game I'm playing when I sit down on the couch at home is the exact same thing. It's not different. It's not, it hasn't been messed up with or messed with at all. It's the same game. Sony has to find their own way of doing that kind of thing. Like, stop making handheld seem like they have to be a half-assed unit with like its own content and its own special thing. Like, make it something where a decent version of your games on your main console can be played on it, which is hard with the way it's going, with the way these consoles are going. It'd be hard to make it, but I think it still needs to be done. Or made something. That was my biggest thing, and my biggest thing that made me really like the Vita was so cool, was how well it integrated with your PlayStation 4. How, like, remote play
3. It doesn't integrate very well with 4.
Okay, 3, sorry. But, like, remote play and stuff, like, that still worked pretty well. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think they should do it in the first place, but if they do, make sure it's something that works with your consoles and that gives full valued experiences.
Yep. I think I'm easier pleased than you for a Vita 2, because they basically just need to make a console that could play current gen games on it. And by current gen, I mean they could be crappier looking versions of the PS4 games, but it just needs to be able to play the exact same games.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you're saying.
Yeah.
But I don't need them to look as long as you're not cutting any of the features and stuff like that. My dream world is they put out the console and they're just like, this doesn't have any games. Like, it's not actually, or even if they did make games, it's like, here are the Vita 2 games, but that's a small portion of what they're making is like exclusive Vita 2 games. But other than that, it's just like, this is a handheld that your PS4 games now come with a code.
So yeah.
And if you have the console, you put the code in and you can play this game on the go and transfer your save. That's what I was
trying to say. Would you like it so that the Vita, or whatever they call it, is really just a peripheral for the PlayStation?
Games on the go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly what I want. Exactly what I want.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be this hybrid console like the Switch is. It just, if anything, the Switch has just taught me that just having the options. See, I just use the Switch as a handheld. However, it's always in the back of your mind that if I wanted to play the games on my TV, I could. Now, I don't want the Vita 2 to be a hybrid. I don't want the PS5 to be a hybrid. I literally, yeah, as you said, peripheral is the right word. I just want a handheld peripheral.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I want a screen that links to my console.
I can take. Yeah.
Screen that you take with you and just play. Yeah.
And this is something I've only realized in like the last couple months, because if I'd gotten to answer this more recently, I would have been like Vita 2, bigger screen, blah blah blah. But I still would have been like exclusive handheld games and stuff like that. And I'm like, you don't need that, because if it's just a peripheral, they can just put random. You can just buy all these random fucking indie games off the PlayStation Store, and it's just, you can either play them on your PS4 or you can play them on your. There's no need to make exclusive games for it, I don't think.
No, if they can make it run so that developers don't have to go out of their way to make a game for it, it'll be so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how they make. I don't know, like, I haven't thought too much about the money or, like, the business factor of my whole, like, the code's in the box and you get a copy of it thing. It's like, are they giving away a copy? But are they really, if it's not actually a console because it doesn't have its own, like, games in the store and it literally is just a screen you can carry, does it matter?
Would you care if they sold games in two different versions, like a single game version only, or like a double pack where you might have to pay like an extra maybe $10, $15 for it?
Yeah, that's not even a bad idea though, because I'll just constantly pay the extra $10, $15.
Yeah, you would then just switch it so that the extra $10, $15 was what you were buying every time. So
yeah, that's a good. Yeah, this is my dream world. Yeah, that's all I wanted. It's so weird how my answers changed too, because I swear ages ago I would have had this big spiel about what the Vita, like what games and features and stuff like that. But now I'm just like a screen.
You didn't have the problem where, say, if just before you left for PAX, you started playing Wolfenstein or Assassin's Creed, you have to then stop that game,
bring your whole fucking console if you want to play it to a hotel room.
Yeah, wait a week and a half, come back to it. Mario Odyssey, you just could have, if you hadn't have left already, or what you did, you just started it with my copy, and then you're going to go home, you're going to get your copy, you put your copy in the Switch, you keep playing it, you want to play it on your big TV, you just sit it in the dock, and it instantly goes up on the screen.
Yep. And I don't need the whole docking system and whatever. Yeah, as I say, I don't need the hybrid thing. I mean, if they wanted to if they wanted to take what Nintendo's got going well with the hybrid screen docking, blah, 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 blah system, the only thing I'd be like, that makes sense, is if they did put out a Vita 2 and if they're listening to this and they're like, fuck, you guys have got the best idea ever, we'll just put out a fucking screen. I mean, that's all we're asking for, is a fucking screen, basically. I mean, there's more in it, but we're just
think about like the little things that Nintendo have put in, stuff like a small stand so you can sit it on a table or somewhere when you're out and about. How does the controller fit into it? Can you just pull the controller off? Like, phrasing. What, like, even though that kind of thing that makes it easier for a user to use your device away from home, that's what people want. They want to be able to play your games away from the house.
Yeah, it's just like, take remote play, the idea of it, and just turn it into
Make it so
you don't need it. You don't need a UMD slot. You don't need a SD card slot for games. You just need an SD card slot for storage.
Also,
and then the ability to download
just
games.
Make whatever the charger is, make it USB-C, or just make it a common
possible common thing, not prior to.
No, don't make it something special. Don't make it something special. Make it something that's user friendly and something people have already got.
I just thought, the one thing they could do that would piss some people off would be, like, the only way you could get games for this console is if you own the digital version of the game, because then they could just tie it to your profile. Like, you buy a digital version of Wolfenstein and you have the option to download it for your PS4 and your Vita 2 or something like that. But then people who buy physical copies miss out and people get shitty, I guess.
It would be a good way for people to go.
And it would save them of the whole, like, Not really giving you 2 copies. You just get. Well, they do it now for a lot of games. It's like you buy a game. It's like you get the Vita copy plus the PS4 copy plus the PS3 copy. All that if you buy it digitally. But some games, if you buy it like the disc copy, you wouldn't get the Vita game plus the blah 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 anyway. So I mean, it makes sense. Like if you brought Hotline Miami the collection, the disc version they just put out recently, not in Australia because Hotline Miami 2 is banned in Australia. But if you live somewhere where it's not banned, you brought both those games to PS4 or whatever like that. You don't get the Vita copies.
Now that I've thought about it, if Sony turned around one day and were, right, we're taking on the Switch, we're going to put as much money as we need to behind it, let's do this. I reckon all they needed to do was make a console that can stand up to it, have an operating system on it that can support things like, account migration and voice chat on the thing, and like do the things that Nintendo are going to take another year to fix. Yeah. You've got a chance. Like, say, hey, Last of Us 2, God of War, whatever AAA title, you can play this full game on our new console. Like, on this new handheld, you can play that goddamn game. Do that, and people will flock and buy your device.
I think the automatic, like the big question with like this idea, our idea that we're just making it up as we fucking go. It's so funny how our ideas kind of lined up. Would be like, how are they making money off this? I bet you like people listening, at least one person or fucking everyone's probably like, yeah, guys, but how are they making money if there isn't like actual games?
If you're making,
the answer is
you're making money.
Is if they make it,
you're making
if
money.
They make
by,
the money on the console.
You're making money by taking people away from the Switch.
Well, that too. Yeah.
The amount of players like yourself, Dylan, like me, like people who have bought a Switch and are now playing games on their Switch when they're out and about, that are Sony fans that would jump over and would love to play a Sony exclusive.
Yeah, the amount of people you see be like, I'm going to buy Sonic on my Switch just because it's on the go instead of my PS4 or my Vita or stuff like that. It's like, there's a sale. Stuff like that. Plus, if it's just a screen and you can make it for a decent... Like, you can make it for a decent cost, sell it at like a slight profit, or you can sell it at a loss and just use it as a mechanism to, just literally get everything on, just use it as just to get more people to buy into the PlayStation family, I guess. Like you could bet on the idea that if more people bought that, they'd be more inclined to buy a PS4 or stuff like that and get away from buying a Switch or an Xbox or stuff like that. I don't know, it's just really, yeah. I think the biggest realization I've had recently is that I don't need or want ever Nintendo or Sony or whoever to make any more handheld gaming consoles with like exclusive games on them. I don't even want handhelds. I don't want a 3DS successor. I don't want a proper Vita 2. I don't want a proper Vita successor. I just don't want proper handhelds anymore.
I feel like we've made a breakthrough, people, together. Together we have found the light.
That's it. All right. So, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have few thoughts, leave your comments down below about what you'd want from the Vita 2 or email platinum@explosionnetwork.com and yell at us or give us your ideas. Whatever comes first. Right. Just real quickly to wrap up the show. Rather long one, but fuck it.
Just the two of us. It's not, just the two of us. We haven't got anybody else here.
Yeah, we're just shit talking, really. that whole Vita 2 thing was literally just shit talking. That was like literally a conversation. Male explosion, or whatever the fuck another Michael C question, unless it got answered on the episode that I wasn't on and haven't listened to, like the one before the last one. Maybe it has been answered. You can tell me. Better startup noise, PS2 or PS3? Did you do that one?
I wasn't on the 1-2 sessions ago.
Let's answer it.
Let's answer it. PS2.
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 Yeah,
PS2. Easy.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
Easy.
All right, and then there's only 2 things for hashtag every trophy counts this week, real quickly. There's only one proper game, and by proper I mean like the other one doesn't even sound like it. Real. Hands of Fate 2 trophies went up, which you checked out at PAGS. Ooh. And you're excited for, and I believe we're going to have content made on it of some sort.
I hope so.
You'll probably be streaming it at some point. I really want to.
Yep.
Yeah. Quickly explain what the game is.
The game is a combination between, say, a tabletop Dungeons and Dragons RPG with like fantasy fighting areas. So you play through like a tarot card area where you flip a card. It has like a scenario on it. You choose how you're going to deal with that scenario. And then you move on to either the next card, or you could engage into then a fight where your character is then put, in like a fantasy RPG fighting style setting to kill off the horde of monsters or whatever in that area.
It basically sounds like a Ciaran game.
It's me if I was a game. I played it at PAX. I got on really well with the developers Defiant while I was there.
We have a video on it, don't we?
Pardon?
We have video on it?
I believe so, yeah, because I love this game so much that I wanted to talk
Let's
about
assume
it.
so. I don't even know what we made videos for.
So we made videos for it.
bit.ly/Explosion Network.
Check it out. I talk about it a lot. It's a real great game. How were the achievements on it? The trophies on it?
Fucking hell, Ciaran. There's, depending on the difficulty of the game, it would either be difficult or not. There's like a gold for completing challenges, all 22 challenges, and there's another gold for completing all 22 gold challenges.
So the challenges are like the levels. So a challenge is a set of tarot cards to get through with a boss at the end. And that's,
so to get gold, I assume is like the highest ranking, so that's kind of dependent on the difficulty of the game, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a hard game?
I don't think it's a hard game.
Dependent?
I think there's a lot of stuff in that game where if you manage your men properly or manage your decisions properly, you could probably get through every challenge without fighting except for the last boss of each one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's... it's got it looks like a fun trophy list. Just apart from the challenge, it's got defeat bosses, do this thing like kill combat like under 15 seconds, like get certain chance cards, all sorts of stuff like that. So just like it looks like a decent trophy list, and it's got a platinum, so that's good. And then the other game was, I have no idea what the fuck this is. I just saw it pop up and I was like, what the fuck? And I clicked on it and I had to read it out just for one trophy. It's called Vegas Party. It looks like hot garbage graphically, and I assume the gameplay is not too great. It's got I think it's a party game, like a in front of screen party game. But one of the trophies is called Lots of Fun. It's a goal, and it says play all the games in the strip mode. Interesting.
Ain't no party.
So I don't know if that means your characters are stripping, or it's like a party mode where it makes you strip in real life.
Okay.
It might interest different people for different reasons.
Okay. Might scare them for different reasons as well.
Might scare them for different reasons. Might impress you for different... I don't know. But it's got a platinum. It's got 7 gold, 12 silver, 1's bronze.
We can do it together if you want.
We can, let's just strip down and get some easy platinums, I suppose. All right. Wrapping up the hour and a half post fucking PAX Extra Life.
Why are we doing a long
season.
episode?
I have no idea. We just start
talking.
talking.
For this long. I don't want to sit here looking at you for this long.
No, we've already seen each other well enough. But then I was like, let's talk about handhelds and stuff like that, and we just started going. And then I had this Vita 2 pitch that hopefully Sony people were listening to, and it was really great. This has been Platinum Explosion episode 33 or 32 of the ones done not in person, depending on how you want to do it.
Did last week count? Tell us in the comments.
Where can the people follow you, Ciaran?
People can find me at your boy Ringo, and hopefully returning to twitch.tv/Ringo /Explosion Network soon.
You got it. And yeah. I think you got it right. You can follow me on Twitter at Vivaladil, VIVALADIL, returning to normal functions hopefully soon. I feel like I may lose my voice soon, actually. I'm getting that whole, I need to not talk for 24-hour feeling currently. So that's great. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode. Don't forget you can follow the network on Explosion Pod, at Explosion Pod, and head to www.explosionnetwork.com for all the great things. It's been a great time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Plat, plat.
Plat, plat. Hey, Dylan. In the next 2 minutes, there will be a knock at your door. You need to follow each and every single instruction placed on the card placed in the box. If you do not, your Vita will be thrown off a bridge.
I don't know if I care at this stage.
Fuck. Quick. Change plans. Get the switch.
Maybe I do care. Wait, PlayStation show. Shh.
Shh.